My name is Gil Zucker. I was fortunate to be a seaman in the U.S. Coast Guard during World War II, and part of my duties being in the Coast Guard was being assigned to a very, very large troop transport. It was AP-21 USS Wakefield, and my duties consisted of working in the ship's galley, cooking, butchering, and assorted chores relative to making sure that both the crew and the troops that we brought back from Guam after the war were pretty well taken care of. Basically, for the most significant part of my time in service, I was aboard the USS Wakefield, and our job was going from San Diego to Guam, which was a staging point for the Marines and the Army personnel to convene, and we would pick them up and bring them back to San Diego for their discharge. Made several trips of that nature, and finally, after the war was over, the last trip that was made was one of great importance to me. It meant also that I would be discharged when we did hit port. Port was going to be New York, and our ship was going to go from Guam through the Panama Canal, up the East Coast, up the Hudson River, which in itself was probably one of the most exhilarating experiences that I've ever had in my life. Seeing hundreds and hundreds of people, perhaps thousands and thousands of people from the buildings lining up the Hudson River was a sight that I will never forget. Ultimately, we did dock. Troops were let out, and with great cheers, they were home. They were being discharged, and in the next few days, the crew was also boarded on buses, taken to Ellis Island, which also was an experience, likes of which is also unbelievable, being in a place where hundreds of thousands of immigrants came to make America what it is. Spending a night or two there, we were then bused to some discharge place in Brooklyn, where I received my discharge papers and got on the subway and went home to see my mom and pop and my brother and sister. And I was formally back as a civilian.